Coping without a fridge. Hello everybody, Tom here from Code. I hope you're all well. It's another glorious day here in England, the UK. Very, very warm. We're about to enter another heat wave. Today, I'm going to discuss how to cope without a fridge. You heard, a refrigerator. First and foremost, I've got to say this. I'm not in a position now whereas I need a fridge. I thankfully have got that sorted out. But a couple of days ago, through no fault of my own, my fridge was something that was given to me when I bought the house. I've had 7 years out of this item, and it didn't cost me anything. So no complaints really. But my fridge basically died. I was away for a couple of weeks on business. It died. Come back, my dad had been over to defrost it and the thermostat had gone. So for a period of probably 3-4 days I had no fridge. Only when you lose an item like that do you realise just how much you rely on something like that for keeping your food in an edible state. We really don't realise just how vital these things are until they're no longer there. It's kind of like the age-old thing about you don't know what you've got till it's gone. Definitely, I eat a lot of frozen food. It works for me in terms of convenience. So I had to really rethink the plan, really, as to how I was going to cope without one. So I basically said to my parents, now both my parents live 6 miles away, so I could have used their fridge, but it meant lots of random trips to and from their house, which I didn't really want to do. But if you are in a position where you've got someone that's a bit more local that can help you, and they're happy to give you a bit of their fridge space, then that's always a good thing to have. But it just wasn't feasible for me, and I didn't really want to keep doing that. So, asked my mum and dad, like, showing their age here, what was life like before a refrigerator? What did you do? Well, I'm sure in many other countries this was the same too. You had what you call a pantry, which is like a cool room. Obviously, I don't have that facility within my house, but one thing you can do is use a cold bucket of water to keep your milk fresh. Now, this is only a temporary solution. And all that I'm mentioning here is temporary, to be honest, because this is only a temporary situation. And I would definitely say that having a fridge is always a good thing to have anyway. So you should not really be looking to just stick with that as the norm. So it was only ever going to be for a few days. That's how it panned out. That's how I wanted it to pan out. And definitely, yeah, I used a cold bucket of water to keep my milk fresh, and it did. It worked well, to be honest with you, but that was only a temporary solution, because as you can appreciate, in this sort of heat, anything like that will go off very quickly. I would definitely address whatever food you do eat and see what it is you can store outside of a fridge. Okay, certain vegetables will stay fresh, but definitely try and keep them in a cool place, even if it's not to a refrigeration temperature. Potatoes will last out without a fridge. Put it somewhere dry, maybe a bit cooler, but not obviously fridge temperature. And also, you'll find that there are other things that you usually put in the fridge that don't really need to go in the fridge. Example, tomato ketchup, spreads usually be alright outside the fridge for a few days. But if it's a real problem, you could always buy dried food, and definitely stuff that's pre-refrigerated, pre-chilled, and that will help. But also think with the short-term food. So for example, the other night I bought something that needed to be refrigerated, and then I cooked it straight away rather than leave it and let it go stale. That's probably got to be one of the ways you think as well. It's not just about what can you store, it's about what can you eat fresh and prepare and have ready and eaten with no storage time, with no need to be stored. Always think like that. Always think in that mind state of like using what you've got straight away if it's something that will need refrigerating usually and you've got no means of doing it. So the short and curlies of this video is you can easily cope without a fridge, but it obviously means you probably need to plan your meals a little bit better, and you'll just have to try and keep whatever it is you do need stored as cool as you can without a fridge, whether that be a cupboard or darkness or something, or in a cooler part of the house. Just try and think outside the box with this, because at the end of the day it's an inconvenience. It was for me, and it would be for most, you know. But that inconvenience is past now. I have a brand new fridge, everything's good. But I thought I'd make a video on it because it's something that we take for granted. We take for granted a lot of our electricity, we take for granted heating, we take for granted shelter. We take for granted, especially here in the, first world country, just how lucky we are to have these facilities. And that, like, many years ago, these things were not available to previous generations, and they had other ways and means, and it is the same. So the other day I used an old school method and it worked. So the old school things can work, and the old wives' tales can work as well. But if you really want to go there, then let it just be a temporary measure, definitely. Guys, this is my third and final video of the week. Thank you all ever so much for being here. I really appreciate your time and energy spent here on my channel. Thank you. Put down in the comment section below, have you ever had the inconvenience of being without a fridge or an appliance, and how did you cope? What was your thinking behind it? Was your strategy? How long did you not have it for when you're able to get by easily? Think about it. We don't ever think about these things. We just take it for granted, and then when it goes wrong, we're like, what do we do? This is why you should always have a backup plan. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below. Leave me a thumbs up and a like, and let's hear that bell sign go ding dong so you know my next content's out. I will be back with another 3 videos at the back end of next week. Until then, I want to say thank you all ever so much for listening as always. Take care of yourselves, and bye for now.